This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Richie Woodhall here in Birmingham. Richie, we love these local shows, don't we? And we've just seen a new British middleweight champion crowned named Brad Pauls. A terrific performance from a man from down south. What did you make of that dramatic final ending to the fight?
Yeah, I thought it was really close actually going into the last round, but the judges had him ahead. But I think he felt in himself that he probably needed a knockout, and he's produced it, so fair play to him. The actual contest started in similar fashion to the last contest they had, in that it was Nathan Heaney that was controlling it for the first 2 or 3 rounds, keeping his distance, and then I think Brad Pauls realised that he'd got to get closer to him and probably caught him with a real good shot that obviously changed things completely, changed the whole complexion of the contest, and then eventually, obviously, it's been nip and tuck all the way to the end, and he's produced the goods in the last round. Fair play to Brad Pauls, an excellent display.
Another excellent display was from Andrew Cain. What did you make of his stoppage victory against Ashley Lane?
Well, you know, we all love Ashley Lane and love the story that he's had, and he's a British champion, very proud man and a proud champion, but it was Andrew Cain's night tonight. I thought his quality on the inside, if you watch the way the lad works on the inside, blocking shots and coming back with counters, you know, on the inside, he seems to be as comfortable as boxing at range. So I was really impressed with him up close, but also boxing at distance as well. Mate, he's a class act, that kid, Andrew Cain.
Another performance we saw earlier tonight, another brilliant fight between Owen Cooper and Essuman.
Oh, mate, I think we've seen 2 fights here tonight that could be contenders for Fight of the Year. That Owen Cooper-Essuman, you know, went this way then that. At one point it looked like Cooper was going to get the victory, and then Echo has just produced the goods when he needed to do it. They call him the engine. It was certainly tested tonight, and I was quite impressed with Owen Cooper, but you've got to say that Essuman's finish was phenomenal, and he needed it and he produced it, so fair play to Echo. And I know him from his GB days, and I know how fit the lad is. He's a quality kid.
Richie, just speaking of GB, some fighters you've worked with previously have some fights on the horizon. We'll get your thoughts on Joyce and Derek Chisora next weekend. What's your take? What do you expect to see?
I'm expecting to see fireworks for that one. Really exciting fight. Derek Chisora, we know, he doesn't take a backward step. Joyce has probably still got a point to prove, to be quite honest. You know, he's still on the comeback trail, if anything. So I think Derek Chisora is going to really test him. It could go either way. If I had to go either way, I'd probably just favour Joyce. But hey, don't be surprised about Derek Chisora. We all know how tough he is, and what a hard contest that could be for Joyce.
Before the Zhang fight, for many people, if you'd have said maybe just favoured Joyce going into a Derek Chisora fight, they'd have been surprised by that. What do you make of kind of that bit of fall from grace, if you will, of Joyce's career since Zhang?
Well, that's why I say he's still on the comeback trail. I still think he's a little bit too heavy. I think his style of boxing, for me, he could do with being a little bit lighter. He's a little bit too slow on his feet, and there's not a lot of head movement from Joe. And obviously, if he's heavier, then he's going to be a little bit slower. So I'd like to see him a little bit lighter. But they call him the Juggernaut. We all know how strong he is. He is susceptible, obviously, to the southpaw style of boxing. But Derek Chisora isn't a southpaw, so it should be blood and thunder, to be quite honest.
Another man you know well, Anthony Joshua, faces a Queensborough fighter in Daniel Dubois, September 21st, Wembley Stadium. What's the difference for both men on September 21st?
I think it could be a classic case of who connects first, to be quite honest. Daniel, I always said that he had the best jab that I ever felt at GB, and I took hundreds of boxers on pads. He had the strongest jab that I ever experienced. And likewise, on the flip side, AJ, he had the best right hand I'd ever felt, the most power in the right hand from any boxer that I've ever took on the pads, to be quite honest. So it could be a classic case of, does Daniel Dubois dictate with his jab, or will AJ land that big right hand? But he'll have to set that punch up. So it could go either way. Again, if I have to put my money on someone, I'd probably just favour AJ, to be quite honest, because of his experience. And it'll certainly be a big test for Daniel Dubois, but it's one that wouldn't surprise me if he comes through. But I just favour AJ just ever so slightly.
Out of both men's most recent 2 performances, who do you think has shown the most development?
Well, AJ's shown a little bit more to his boxing under his new coach. They're trying new things out. But having said that, they've had good matches, and it's been clever, I think, matchmaking and getting the right opponents. Otto Wallin, for instance. I remember watching AJ spar Otto Wallin many times in GB, and he didn't lose a round for me against Otto Wallin in the spar, so I think he was quite confident going into that one. But Daniel Dubois, for me, has probably shown a little bit more, certainly improvement in his style, in terms of his blood thunder and determination, the way he comes through contests against Miller and against Hrgovic. In both those contests, he was under the cosh. It looked like at one point he could possibly lose them, and he had to come through it, turn the tables, and he's got a win in both fights in spectacular fashion. So for me, if I have to say who's improved the most, it's probably Daniel Dubois. So it's a good 50-50. Probably AJ for me is a slight favourite, but yeah, it's a cracking fight. Can't wait for it, mate.
Just one more, I want to quickly ask you on Jack Catterall, Regis Prograis, August 24th. What's your thoughts on that?
Tough fight for Jack Catterall, obviously. A good fight, but Catterall is in the form of his life. No reason why he can't win the contest. Jack, what I like about Jack is he can box at range, but he can also box on the inside and mix it with the very best. So for me, Jack Catterall, yeah, I think it's a fight that he can win. Good luck to him.
GB hopefuls also out in Paris now. How's things shaping up?
We got 6 boxers through the Olympics, 3 male, 3 female. We need luck in the draw more than anything, I think, in this Olympics cycle. It's going to be tough because it's an inexperienced team. But we've also qualified a boxer in Cindy Ngama, who's a refugee boxer who's been training us for 2 years. So she's one of ours, really. So we've got 7, I think, to be quite honest. Like I say, we need a bit of luck, but there's no reason why we can't bring back medals.
Richie, I appreciate your time. See you soon.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.